is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. It's Motorhead right here with I'm So Bad, Baby, I Don't Care. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from Accept featuring their latest singer, or what's his name, Mark...
Fuck. I don't know.
Starts with a T. But anyway, it's...
Tornillo.
Tornillo, yeah. Mark Tornillo. And we heard Beat the Bastards Down. And a guy who can beat some bastards down is my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on there, Chris?
What is up, sir? How are we?
Well, it's time to beat the bastards down. I've been watching all the nonsense going on in this country. And if upstanding, law-abiding Americans don't do something in November and allow these assholes to, take over in our government, that'd be the Democrats, this country's over. I mean, it's over.
Are you moving?
No, I'm not moving. It's just over. It's over. There's just no way we're going to recover. No way.
Probably not. No, I don't think you have anything to worry about with fucking goofball Biden running.
Well, it's not that so much, but I would like to maintain both houses of Congress as well.
I would like to see if they could finally get rid of this fucking twat bag Nancy.
Well, that's my point. We gotta take that House of Representatives back over. We have to do that, and we have to maintain the Senate. We have to stop these assholes who are so complacent and almost encouraging this kind of rhetoric, this behavior going on. Not one of these people have stood up, whether it's Schumer or Pelosi or any one of these jagoffs over there, have not once stood up and condemned what's going on out there. They've encouraged it, and that's a bad sign.
Well, they've kneeled down. They haven't.
That's my point. They're complacent and accepting it and encouraging it and all that other stuff. And if that's okay with you, great. But boy, I don't want to live in a world that that's who's governing this country.
Well, start eating shitty food and doing drugs. You can die with me.
I'm with you, but we're 5 months away from that time, and if you're going to allow this country to slip away, you're going to allow the freedoms that we enjoy here on the Classic Metal Show and allow the freedoms you have in our chat room. If you want all that to go away, yeah, you just sit there at home and don't do a thing.
There you go.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. I can see we've changed roles tonight. You're the angry one, and I'm all nice.
Well,
and
you know what the thing is? Enough is enough. Enough's enough, and I don't mean Chip. Enough is enough. It's gotten to the fevered pitch to where if it takes hold, we're done.
Yeah, well, I agree. Mad Max coming soon.
Yeah,
to a street near you.
Yeah. So anyway, those of you who like this show, listen to the show. I see that our chat room was already maxed out before the show even started. I see people asking, well, how come I can't get in? Well, we are maxed out at 50. I guess if I wanted to put some more money toward that, I could expand the thing. But I kind of like that attitude that you've kind of put out there on the CMS social sites that, well, it is kind of like an exclusive club. If you don't get in early, you don't get in.
Yeah, I looked at the difference. It's like $25 a month for the next, or I think it's $24 to go up to 100.
Yeah.
And then I was like, 100, which means we would probably be doing about 70, 75. 10 of them would be jagoffs. Nah. I'm good with just 50, and you know what? Get in. The hardcores will get in. The random people won't.
Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, it's pretty encouraging to see that chat room maxed out at 50 before the first song plays.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So thank you. Thank you for being so supportive and, wanting to be a part of this mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
At least this mayhem won't get you arrested, at least not today anyway.
Not yet.
Not yet. But the minute they start censoring that language, which they already have, censoring speech, You can't say this. You can't say that. It's hate speech. Look out. The hate speech police will be looking for you.
Well, as I keep telling everybody, move to BitChute, move to Gab, move to Minds.
Right.
Go to where the censorship is less or none. That's where you need to be.
Yep.
Fuck YouTube. Fuck Facebook.
Twitter.
Fuck Twitter. Insta cocksucker. All of it. Get rid of it. Move to the places where you're allowed to say and think what you want. Library. That's been my new one. Library.tv. Have you tried that one
I
yet?
have not. I saw that you signed us up for that.
Yeah. Styx Hexenhammer. I actually got the idea from Styx. And I like Library a lot. I like it probably more than BitChute just because the videos load extremely fast.
Nice.
Which, that's the one bitch I have about BitChute is BitChute seems to be like hit or miss. Sometimes you click a video and it just pops right up. And then other times you just hit it and it just fucking thinks about it for like 10 minutes. And then it goes.
Well, maybe they don't have the server space or the bandwidth or something.
But Library works fantastic.
All right. Very cool.
And it's spelled just like Jennifer would spell it. L-B-R-Y. Library.
Library.
Library. L-B-R-Y. Library.tv.
Yep. All right. Well, this show is about fun and being entertained and fun and games, but let's just be truthful. We all are adults that have livelihoods for the most part, and we all have interests to protect. And I'm serious. You really, if you're not registered to vote and if you don't go out and vote, you really need to do it this time around, because we're getting to a critical situation here. With this kind of bullshit going on, especially in a city like Chicago, which I won't go anywhere near, how in the world, in this day and age, in this country, can somebody take over 6 or 8 blocks of a city? How can that happen?
Did they do that in Chicago too?
No, it didn't happen in Chicago, but it happened in Seattle.
Yeah.
And how does that even happen? How in the world does somebody just take over a city?
That's not going to last long.
Well, I understand, but even the fact that they were even able to do it for a day.
It's the same. You know what? I've watched a little bit of it, and it's the same as when you hold hostages in a building. Eventually, more military comes in and just fucking wipes you out.
I get it, but why is it allowed to even go on to from the beginning?
Well, because the mayor or whatever's a cuck.
That's exactly my point. How did the mayor get in the office? He got voted in.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I'm a firm believer that it'll all change, and it just takes a minute. It takes a minute for everything to get done. Just like I saw that there's already lawsuits against the mayor of Washington D.C. about the fucking spray painting the street.
Yeah,
with the BLM.
Yep.
So yeah, did they win for a minute? Sure they did, but in the end, you'll be dead broke.
Yeah, well, regardless of that, it's just that you can't even allow these people to get even a toehold in it at all.
Yeah, if they don't do something about Seattle, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I played. That's why I played some Accept there at the beginning. Beat the bastards down.
Yeah. You don't think they're going to roll into Seattle with some tanks and just mow these fucking cocksuckers over?
Well, again, they may have to do that, but why did it even get an opportunity to even establish itself to begin with? That's my point. I know it can be taken down. I know it can be, fixed or rectified, but I don't think it should be allowed to even happen to begin with. That's my point.
Yeah, no, I agree with your point. Crazy shit happens during chaos. And this was organized. Obviously, this was part of the plan. And it happened because people were reacting to everything else. They're reacting to fires, and they're reacting to windows being broken and looting and, old ladies getting clubbed with 2x4s and shit. They're reacting to everything else. Meanwhile, an apparatus that had a bit of a militarized plan put it in play.
Yeah.
But our military will beat back fucking 6 blocks of city in fucking Seattle.
Yeah, no kidding.
Please.
Yeah. But anyway, I know the firepower, the muscle is out there to, take that apart. But, in my opinion, it's just like that. This should never even be allowed to even begin or even start or even get a toehold anywhere.
I just hope they televise it when they take them out, because I really want to watch these fucking Antifa bitches just fucking killed by tanks.
Right.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not.
The optics are just would be so bad that even though it wouldn't be necessarily orchestrated by the federal government, somehow Trump will be at fault for it.
Well, Trump's at fault for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump's at fault for all the racist killings by cops during the Obama administration.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think all of them except for Pink Floyd here happened during his time, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Like Tamir Rice and
Michael Brown and
Michael Brown.
Yep.
Those all happened during Obama's run, but it's still Trump's fault.
It's still Trump's fault.
He created the environment.
Yeah.
That's the one that cracks me up. He created the environment. Well, no.
Well, the thing is this doddering old fool that's, the presumptive nominee for the Democrat Party, this Biden. I don't typically get too, upset about things, but to listen to this jagoff just flat out say this president is going to do everything he can to steal this election. He made that flat out statement. Well, I've been very concerned about this because it's very obvious this president is going to do everything he can to steal this election.
Oh, you mean like you did when you stole the fucking vote for healthcare, you cocksucker? You changed the rules on how votes were tabulated when you changed what a majority was so that you could ram through your fucking healthcare agenda? Fuck you, old man. Shut up.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that's just very bothersome to have somebody come out, an official, somebody who's in the upper echelon of the political chain, come right out and accuse the president of planning to steal the election. What kind of rhetoric is that?
No, you're right. Now, Kendall, Doover would never loot. Come on. Doover and all his little Doovers. Right.
Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of Doovers.
Bunch of Doovers, looters.
Yeah.
Louvers. Would they be louvers?
They would be louvers. Yeah, exactly. Louvers. So,
or duders. Yeah. One of the two. Louvers or duders.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, just rest assured, I'm not going to make this show a political show. It's just I just wanted to instill that thought in everybody's mind that you had better think long and hard about where you stand as far if you're an American in this country, and you had better be involved, because if you're not, we're fucked.
Yeah. Well, I have just. And nothing to back it up, but I have the strongest belief it's going to be just like last time. Nobody's going to say anything, and people are going to have a big thought of, well, it's going to be a Democratic landslide because of the COVID and the racial strife and and it just ain't gonna. It's going to go the other way.
Well, see, you may be right, but the thing is you don't want to get people complacent in believing that and go, yeah, there'll be enough of us to vote, to vote Trump back in and then not go.
I'm pretty sure that the people that are going to vote for Trump, they're not going to get complacent and hope that the other guy votes.
Yeah.
They don't seem like that. That's a Democrat thing. That's a, well, we're lazy because we're right thing. That doesn't generally happen with people that actually work for a living. Yeah. They still understand that they have to go out and, do the work. So I wouldn't worry about it too terribly.
Well, I'm not worried about it, but I would like to see the Dems get thrown out of the House as well, especially after a 3-year probe of Russian collusion, and nothing, and that was all on a false premise. Then on top of that, impeaching this president over a phone call that there was nothing wrong with.
Oh, yeah.
They spent months and months and months on hearings and witnesses and statements and voted to impeach this president, and for what? Nothing. Nothing. So I hope everyone remembers that in November, that the Democrat-led House is the one who did this.
Oh, I have a feeling that Trump's peeps are not going to let you forget that.
Well, again, I'm just telling you.
What I hope happens, though, quite honestly, and, I would love to send an email to whoever you would send it to, and it's not exactly an original idea, but it's one that I hope that they do this time and take hold of, is that for every advertisement that the Trump campaign or any of the people that I want to get in, I don't care who they are, but any of the people that are like-minded to me, I hope that they put all their advertising out there in a way that you can download it and upload it to wherever, because that all of the big tech is going to shut down everybody, except for the left-leaning people, to post. But if you put it out there and you have millions of people uploading it to YouTube and BitChute and Daily Motion, and, if you have millions of people doing that on a daily basis, even their algorithms won't be able to shut it down.
Right.
And that's what really needs to happen this time, is the way you beat big tech is by making big tech be way too busy to fucking handle big tech.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I hope actually happens, is that they put it out there and let the people promote it this time. That's what really needs to happen.
Yeah.
Put it out there with some instructions. Here's how you download it. Here's how you upload it. Go.
Right. Well, I see our girl Caitlin Bennett. She finally got the message as well, and she established her own platform now to where she can do her uncensored stuff. Because
what has she done?
Well, she's got her own platform. I think it's called libertyhangout.tv.
Okay.
So it's uncensored Caitlin.
That's good.
Yeah, so I guess she decided that, she can't rely on YouTube or, anything anymore to carry her message or her videos without taking them down or censoring them or, putting some kind of a tag on it that it's, what do they call it? Against the terms of service.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So she's established her own thing where you can go see her videos uncensored now.
Sure. Well, that works. That's the thing, dude. The alternate tech or the alt tech, man, there's a lot of good alt tech out there. The problem is that even people that understand that they're being lied to, still use it all the time.
Because it's easy and convenient, and it's what we always did.
Yeah, but still, if you don't trust it, why would you go there for information?
Right.
That's the part I never understand, is like, I have picked up lately quite a bit more watching of like Sticks and guys that are like-minded to Sticks, not necessarily Sticks, but there's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
But I don't watch anything on YouTube. The only thing I watch on YouTube anymore is my wrestling videos, because that's what they are. But if I wanted any real information, I'm not going to fucking YouTube. I'll go to BitChute, or I'll go to Library or Daily Motion or Vimeo or something else. There's a lot of information that's out there that is, too controversial for YouTube, but it's still information. You got to weed through it like anything else. But what I think lures people into thinking that it's not real information is the fact that it's not on YouTube for some reason. Meanwhile, YouTube is full of disinformation, and people accept it as real for some reason. It doesn't make any kind of fucking sense.
Well, again, it goes back to, and I'm going to make a real old school reference here. Remember the top dog as far as being on the internet meant that you had to have an AOL account?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't want to be on, what was some of the other one, Netscape or, whatever, I'm on AOL.
Right.
Because that was the name, that was the brand. People like brands.
Right.
And it's just a matter of time to lift up these other alt tech names to make them recognizable brands. So it's the same thing. It's just a matter of changing the mindset.
Yeah, I wish more people would use it. I know I try my best to promote BitChute and Gab and Minds and now Library. I try to promote those as much as I can because they are a better source of information. And I'm not one that's trying. I'm not trying to change the world. I don't give a fuck what anybody does, especially. As long as I got a gun, I don't need anybody's approval on anything.
Yeah.
I do try to use the alternate sources and clue people in about them because they are a better source. There's better sources out there now, than fucking YouTube or the mainstream news.
Yeah, I agree.
All of that stuff is just fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that simplest things. Look at, didn't Tucker Carlson lose a bunch of advertisers this week?
I have no idea. I don't pay any attention to that stuff anymore. I just don't.
I'm pretty sure I saw he did. Reason? He spoke outside of the party line.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly their ABC pulled out. Why ABC was advertising on Tucker Carlson, other than he has people watching. But, they're pulling advertising to force people into towing the line. And it's like, fuck that. Just go somewhere else.
Well, what have I always said? If there's money involved, nothing is credible, especially when there's money involved.
And that's more and more true by the minute.
And if you take the money away, or put a dent in somebody's pocketbook, it's like, I'm going to force you because I'm going to take money out of your pocket. Or I'm going to somehow try to extort money from you some way, somehow to make you, toe the line or spread the message we want you to spread.
Right. And it's clear that there is a hunger for real, legitimate news. Because look at every platform Styx Hexenhammer goes on, he fucking ends up with 100,000 users in like months.
Yeah, that's true.
Jericho Green has 100,000 users. And let's be honest, he's not doing anything that much different than Mark Striegel. He's just rolling around in his car talking about his politics.
True. But he's a great orator.
Sure.
And he's interesting and he makes listening to him a pleasure. Mark's a hard listen.
Well, my point is that if Jericho could be the best orator in the world, if he didn't have a message that people were hungry for, he wouldn't have followers.
You're absolutely right.
And that's the whole thing, is if you look at the message is so strong that people want the other side because they're tired of being. People understand that they're being lied to. They just are afraid to make the change to not be lied to for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but they are.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting this week. I was listening to Mark Levin, as I normally do, and he was running these montages of how the mainstream media covered the protest against the COVID shutdowns.
Okay.
When store owners and, blue collar workers and everybody were revolting against their governors and getting things opened back up.
Right.
And the way that the mainstream media covered the protests by people who were just out there saying, let's open things back up, Well, it was, look at these traitors, these terrorists, these domestic terrorists out there. I mean, they were more or less just reporting like they were setting the place on fire, when during the COVID protest, nobody got killed. There was no fire set. There was no violence. None.
No.
But yet, then in contrasting, he played the coverage of these riots. And it's like, look at these guys. They're just out there peacefully protesting. They've got a reason to be out there. They have a cause. People should be sympathetic to their message.
Yeah, their destruction of their city is valid because they're angry.
Exactly. So it was as if these normal, everyday people who just wanted to go back to work were like domestic terrorists. Look, they're carrying guns. Look at them. And you go, okay, well, what happened? Did somebody get shot? Well, no, but they had a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened? Well, then they went home.
Yeah, then they didn't shoot anybody and went home.
And did somebody get killed? No. Did anybody set a building on fire? No. Did anybody destroy the state capitol? No. Did anyone get arrested? No.
Yeah, they made whatever statement they wanted to make, and that was it.
And they went home. And they were terrorists and domestic violence and this and that, but yet on the other hand, the ones that were setting fires and causing destruction and people did get killed during this George Floyd protest. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. Peaceful protesters. Very peaceful protesters.
Sure, it's all good.
The contrast was just absolutely amazing.
Well, and the reason they do that, dude, it's twofold. One, they're obviously guiding the stupid, but two, it trickles down.
I know.
You know, I told you, as soon as we announced for Pinball PA that we were opening and really didn't give a fuck what the governor had to say because it wasn't lawful. As soon as we did that, I hadn't posted it an hour before somebody said, you're going to fucking kill people. You're going to be known as the Coronacade, which I found immensely funny. I thought that name was great.
And you were like, and what is your medical expertise that you know so much, or are you just regurgitating what you heard?
And that was it. And most weaker people, I would think, would have been like, "Oh, they're going to say bad things about my business. I better close.
Yeah,
I better adhere to the governor." And I just was like, "Whatever, dude. I'm not going broke for this fucking cocksucker."
Yeah, you domestic terrorist, you.
Fine. Add it to the list. Add it to the list of things that I've been called.
Right.
I really don't care. As I've been saying to anybody that's asked me about all of this BLM nonsense, I only see two colors, green and transparent.
Right.
I either make money from it or it does not fucking exist to me.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's that. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I see you took a stand this week and, ended something that you enjoyed doing, your podcast with John Drake with your Dog Pound podcast.
I did.
And again, it wasn't something that netted you money, but even if it did, I still think you would have done it anyway.
I would have, absolutely.
But regardless of that, this, just because of the stances that are taken and the, by these big entities, be it sports or television or whatever, as an individual, you had to take a public stance and say, as much as I enjoyed the Dog Pound podcast and, covering the Browns and stuff, I'm not doing it because I am not supporting something I don't believe in.
And that was exactly it. Not telling anybody not to watch football, not telling anybody not to even listen to the Dog Pound podcast if John carries it on. Saying I won't be there. I can't, in good consciousness, people, and I can't believe that the flag and the Confederate flag thing are back, but they're back.
They're back.
And I cannot and will not, in good consciousness, allow the flag to be desecrated. I don't really care what your cause is. You don't get to pick. You don't get to tell me that my reasoning for standing for that symbol is less important than your reasoning for fucking disrespecting it. You want to disrespect it? Fine, disrespect it. I'm choosing to distance myself from those that do. Period. I served in the military. The flag is everything in the military. Anybody that has served in the military, even if they don't believe in the stance of not kneeling or whatever, everybody that has ever served, at least in the Army, knows that the flag is everything. They train you to fucking die for that flag, that you will die to protect that fucking flag. They train you, they give you what they call a guide on, which is a flag that you carry in front of a formation, whether you're marching or running or whatever, from day one of basic training. And God help you if that flag ever touches the ground. You know, I mean, it is taught to be respected more than you would your grandmother walking her across the street. When soldiers die, what do? They drape the coffin with a flag as a show of respect to those that have fallen for the country. And the last thing that they do, the very last thing that the military does, is gives the family of a fallen service member a flag, which is the last ounce of respect that they can give to the family. So telling me that, well, your cause says that it's not about the military, suck my dick. That's what I say to you and your fucking cause. Suck my fucking dick. It means something different to me, and I'm not going to support it. And, you know, I honestly hope John does carry on with the show. And believe you me, he was as caught as off guard as anybody, because I didn't even tell him I was quitting. I saw that they were going to allow the fucking kneeling to go back on. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And I am. I'm out.
All right. Well, good for you. So anyway, you gotta stand for something, or you'll fall for anything, as the saying goes. And I just hope our fans. I would like to think, being that our fans do tune in religiously and listen to our show, whether they're just here for the laughs or whatever. But this is serious, guys, gals, folks. This is some serious shit.
I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I never would, but at least think. How about that? How about if we leave it there? We'll leave it as, at least think about what's going on when you make your decisions come November or come tomorrow or come whatever you decide to do. Think about what your decisions are going to fucking do, because they are important. Right now, it's, we are at a fucking really chaotic. I wonder if I was thinking this week. Do you think every generation feels this way? Do you think our parents felt this way in the 60s when they were blowing up, churches and... Well,
I know during the 60s, because I was just a very young person not understanding it, but I remember distinctly my parents having discussions about these radicals, because that was what they called them, the radicals. Right. The long-haired radicals, these acid dropping, drug taking hippies, these protesters. Because you got to remember, I remember, because I was, 8, 9 years old, the Vietnam War was still going on. And of course, Kent State, the shooting at Kent State happened just literally 10 minutes from my house, and 10 minutes from your house.
Right.
I don't know that you were old enough to, you were born in 68, right?
Yeah, I was 2.
Yeah. So I remember when that happened. And I remember the upheaval, because my dad was in the trucking industry, the big truck strikes that shut down the Ohio Turnpike. That happened at the exact same time. They were out there on the turnpike because there were snipers out on the turnpike shooting at trucks. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was a very, very, dangerous time. It's like, well, don't go out on the Ohio Turnpike, because there is a big Teamster trucker strike right now. And I remember the Governor Rhodes had put the National Guard out on the Ohio Turnpike because of the snipers. And that's where they got pulled off the Ohio Turnpike to go into Kent State. Those guys had been camped out along the turnpike for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they were a little bit worn, and they were a little bit frazzled. And, then, of course, all the upheaval at Kent State happened, and these guys, they just snapped more or less.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty precarious time, and again, I'm just a kid, but I look back and I remember the discussions, and I remember the radio reports, and I remember the TV news, because that's when, that's what you would watch at dinner time, is you'd watch the 6:00 news, with like Huntley and Brinkley and people like that, or what's his name? Walter
Cronkite?
Yeah, him. those were the voices of authority, or, those were the people who supposedly told it to you straight,
Right. Sure.
So, yeah, I remember those times, and I remember people were a little, nervous or scared or a little bit leery of things going on in the cities or in the community.
Sure.
But I think this is much worse. One of the reasons I say this is because now we've got politicians. Number one, this is an election year, and number two, we have politicians who are encouraging this behavior, and that's a problem.
That's dangerous right there, that they're encouraging it. But it's a weird time, dude. It's one of the things I've always. This is funny. It has nothing. It sort of has something to do with this, but it's just weird how experiences change you. I always thought, up until probably about 5-6 years ago or so, I always thought that if I would have been 15, 18 years ago, 18 years old, during the hippie time, during the whole Vietnam and whatever, that I would have absolutely been a hippie. I absolutely think I would have chased the pussy, and I would have gone after the free love thing, and, and it just seemed like it was fun. It seemed like, you go to these rallies, you smoke some pot, you get your dick sucked in the back of a Volkswagen van. It just seemed like the life. But now that I've gotten older and I see what the hippies are now, and the Antifa and whatever, which I'm assuming are mostly bred from those people then, it's like, I don't think I would have been now, because I would have hated those fucking people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted the free pussy. And believe me, that's painful for me to say, but.
I hear you. Well, the whole free love movement happened. It was such a short window there that the whole free love movement happened just prior to the big anti-war protesting.
Right.
They weren't so much out there with radical beliefs as hippies. They were more or less just like, let's make love, not war. It was sort of like, let's drop some acid and be free and, be carefree. But near the end of the 60s and into the early part of the 70s, that's when things started getting pretty heated.
Right.
Because the war had dragged on too long at that point, and people were just like, all right, we're fed up with this. We need to put a stop to this now.
I could see myself. Remember, you saw Forrest Gump, right?
Yes, of course.
The guy when they're making the big speech and they're trying to get Forrest up there to make his speech, and there's the one guy that's like leading the crowd into the frenzy.
Yeah, I think that who was that? That was
forget who it was,
I know the guy's name. It's off the top of my head, but yeah, I know. Come on, man, come up and speak.
He's like, this guy was in Vietnam. That guy.
Yeah.
I see me as that guy. That's who I see me as in the 70s, would be the rabble rouser.
Yeah, the guy who's riling up the crowd.
I would have been that guy, the rabble rouser. But then now I see how those people actually are and how their kids turned out, and I'm like, holy fuck. No, thank you. Bunch of douches.
Yeah. So anyway, we're most of us anyway, we're all middle-aged adults, and probably most of us have families or wives, kids, homes, jobs. I hope the work that you've put in through your adult life to achieve those things, you're willing to defend that.
Well, you have to be. I don't understand anybody that's not willing to defend that. That's what surprises me, is how many people are like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't want to get it.
And I don't necessarily mean wielding a gun defend it. I mean defend it as in defend it in your being active with your voting, and keep paying attention to issues out there, and not allowing these radical causes to define this country and make you bow to their will. Because that's not liberty. That's tyranny right there.
It's amazing to me how many people our age are actually intimidated by talk.
Oh yeah.
That's it's stunning to me. We were all raised to not give a fuck what somebody said.
Yeah, the sticks and stones.
Yeah, I mean that was what we were all taught, and now, yeah, so many people our age are just like, well, I don't want to be labeled a.
Well, but here's the problem. Here's the problem, and it's always been a problem for me. It's the goddamn social media. Everybody is so involved with social media, with their goddamn Facebooks and all this bullshit out there, that they're so afraid that somebody's going to post something about them online and ruin them. That's the whole thing. It's just the tyranny of social media, that people allowed themselves to get sucked into this thing. And it's just like, oh, well, somebody's going to say something mean on my Facebook, or they're going to chastise me or point me out to everybody else out there. Look, he's a racist. He doesn't support Black Lives Matter. He's a this, and everybody, oh my God, I can't have my friends see that.
Meanwhile, you got to just be like, you know what? I really don't give a fuck.
Well, it's not give a fuck. It's get off social media. Stay off of there. Stay off of there.
But you also have to not give a fuck what people say.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But my point is don't throw yourself into a situation where you feel you have to defend yourself, when it's just like, stay off of there. Don't have a social media account. Don't get involved.
Yeah, social media is fucking. It's poison.
I saw this coming. I know. I've harped on this for the last decade. You know that to be true.
It's poison. There's no two ways about it, dude. Literally, this last week I watched three brothers that I'm friends with, watch the family fucking disintegrate over Facebook. And I mean disintegrate to where now nobody's talking to each other over fucking Facebook. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? You're gonna let somebody's attitude fucking make you not speak to your own fucking family? What are you, a fucking moron? Get off that shit.
Well, again, if you've listened to this show for any length of time, I have never been on Facebook, and I have never been a fan of social media, and I've always talked about how bad it is, and that it's going to be the death of us. And here it is. Everything social media. Oh, I saw it on Snapchat. Oh, I saw it on live stream. Oh, I saw it on Facebook. Oh, it was on Twitter. Oh, you know what? Get off that shit.
Yeah. Move away. There's other. If you have a diehard need to follow whatever businesses or news or whatever, use the alternative shit. Get off of Twitter. Get off of Facebook. Get off of Instagram. Go places where the ideas are wider ranging and different, and people are less judgmental about what you choose to fucking think, instead of collective groupthink, which is all social, the big social media things are collective groupthink. That's all it is. It's fucking junk.
I agree.
I'm glad I'm pretty much off it. I don't miss it at all.
Well, anyway, it's bad. It's not a good thing.
No,
it's not a good thing. I appreciate the fact that, people use it for promotion. Promotion is one thing, but this personal interaction stuff between people and groups and chats and this and that, it's just destructive.
I know. Believe me, man, I wish there was a way we could get off of social media for the show. I really do wish that there was a way I could just close the Facebook and close the Twitter or whatever, but it would hurt the show.
Yeah.
Look, if you follow us on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever, if you look, I would say probably 85% of what we do on there now is just advertised.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, get the new Android app. Hey, where's your iPhone users? Get the new app. Hey, you ready for a new uncensored show?
Yeah, that's it. It's just advertising now.
Yeah.
Very little, or I'll throw out when we get stuff that's like new songs or whatever. I'll say, hey, here's a new song by blah, blah, blah.
But it's advertising again. You're advertising a new song.
The music, yeah. I know that the CMS fans formed their own thing when I closed our group. They formed their own group, and that's fine. And I get asked about it quite a bit, actually. People are like, did you see what so-and-so said about you in the CMS fans group or whatever? And I'm just like, nope, didn't see, don't want to, not joining, nope.
Yeah, don't care.
Don't care. Social media is the fucking illness.
Yeah. So anyway, I got zero interest in that. I've always have. It's just like, nope, not going to be involved.
Yeah. I'm with you.
No way. But anyway, that's an hour's worth of, a word to the wise, a warning that's a warning shot for you guys and girls who care about these things. And I hope you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're 5 months is going to fly by before you know it. I can't believe that we're nearing the end of June already. Half the year is already over. It just seemed like snow was flying like 2 weeks ago.
That's because it was,
but here we are. We're in the middle of June, and almost half the year's over already. So it's gonna fly by. So let's make the most of it. Everybody collectively get their heads together and go, you know what? I'm not gonna allow my country to be taken over by a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah, terrorists and cunts.
Yep. So anyway, I promise the rest of the show will be funny.
All right.
But I really, this was just on my mind today. And it's just like, man, I would like to think that our fans are smart enough to say, I really do need to get actively involved if you haven't done so before.
Sure.
It's very important. All right, you got anything you'd like to hear? We'll take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll get into some of the funny. How's that?
All right. How's about if we go with a song from you're probably going to have to YouTube this or Spotify it or whatever.
Okay.
Song, the new Vandenberg album, 2020.
Really?
Yes. I like the song called Shitstorm. And it kind of fits what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
We're stuck in a shitstorm, so might as well play some new Vandenberg Shitstorm.
All right. Just wait till the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, you can play that one behind it if you want to.
Yeah.
This is after the shit hits the fan. It turns into a shitstorm against your wall.
All right. Do you think they were trying to recapture the magic of wait till the shit hits the fan?
I don't think so.
You don't think?
Nah, it's definitely a different sound. It's not a ballad or anything. It's a different song.
All right. Well, I got it pulled up, so let's listen to some new Vandenberg.
All right.
Let's not allow this country to become a shitstorm. So here it is. It's Vandenberg exclusively here
on your classic metal show.